All right.
Let's dive in and find out. In the labyrinthine world of cyberspace, every click leaves a trace. But with Counter Surveil, you become the unseen. Our podcast takes you deep into the heart of hacking, where firewalls crumble and secrets unravel. From white hat heroes to shadowy code warriors, we cover the spectrum. Join us on Iron Geek, your portal to mastering the art of stealth and strategy. Discover the tools, the tricks, and the tales that define the modern hacker. Tune in and transform from a curious novice into a digital legend. This is Counter Surveil. Unmask the unknown.
Tune into the sound waves, secrets of the dark maze, dark codes in the nighttime, information, gold lines. We're free in the spotlight, shining through the late night. Smart contracts are lying, auditing, they defying. Counter surveil in my ear, security we engineer. Learn the truth, don't disappear. Counter surveil, we're right here. Crypto dreams and data streams. Listen close, it's closer than it seems. Fix the flaws, see through the smog. Counter serve will join the blog.
Hello and welcome to the Counter Surveil podcast. I'm one of your hosts here with Sledge, CrowdStrong, and our guest today, Dr. Freeman, who's going to be talking to us about a really cool project made called Tripwire to help defend against evil Maid attacks. For those of you who don't know what an evil Maid attack is, that is one that involves physical access to a machine. Think of, for instance, a maid in a hotel room going and plugging a thumb drive into a laptop that loads malware into it. That's your typical description for it. Sledge, why don't you introduce the guest?
Yeah, so some background story is everybody that's been at DEF CON knows of this thing called the Circle Bar, when there's no such thing called the Circle Bar anymore. But we all refer to the bar that we congregate during the conference as the Circle Bar. And I met this guy there, and we started talking. And he was like, hey, I have this cool tool I want to show off. And I was like, hey, we have a podcast. Come show it off. So here he is. So Freeman, give us your elevator speech and introduce yourself.
Hello. Hey, everyone. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm Dr. Freeman, or Freeman for short. So, yes, just brief bit about me. I'm someone whose life goal is to develop privacy tools that anybody can use, that anybody can just, download, install, and use. Something like, Tor browser, as easy as Tor browser. So, and this time I built a tool called Tripwire. It is an anti-evil Maid defense. It is tamper evident by itself, and it can also survive network outage, and it also has all the other cool features that just make it easier to use. And it is open source. It is on GitHub. And if you can get yourself a Raspberry Pi, you can just build it and deploy it yourself. So I did prepare some slides. These are slides.
Before we get into it, can you drop the GitHub link?
Yes, GitHub link. Do I type it in the chat?
Yeah, put it
in
the chat.
our,
We can blast it on the screen there.
Right, yeah.
Oh, I see it now. Okay.
All right, let me pop that up on the screen there.
Anyways, we'll get that thrown out, but continue.
Okay, so yes, first of all, let's talk about the threat model. So what is evil Maid attack? Evil Maid attack is where the attacker, they gain physical access to the target device, and their goal is to tamper with it undetected. So in other words, imagine evil Maid, in a hotel, maybe someone snuck in a hotel room, or maybe you're snuck into your home, and then they have physical access to your laptop or desktop or whatever, and then they compromise it with physical access. the goal is to do it without being noticed, so that when the user comes back, they continue to use their laptop, and this will allow the attacker to keep spying on them for their future activities, both past and future activities, because at that point they will just have own the device. And the user's goal in this case is tamper evidence. Basically, they want it to be obvious whenever their device has been tampered with, and they also want to avoid carrying the device all the time. So, I mean, yes, it is one way to prevent evil Maid attacks, entirely, but it's super inconvenient. I speak from experience. Oops, I lost the slides.
Trying to get to you specifically. There we go.
There we are.
Nice. Okay, great. We have full screen now. So what's the target audience for this tool? So probably not the ordinary users. I don't think ordinary users should worry about someone sneaking to their home or hotel room to hack the device. Or for ordinary users, maybe a traditional home monitoring product will be sufficient. It's kind of questionable still for high-profile people like journalists, whistleblowers, activists, maybe. But if they deem that the risk of leaving the device at home is just too much, maybe they just have to carry it all the time. But what I want to say is
you're
that
an actual target.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you've been up there. But what I want to say is there are a lot of people in between. So there are, for example, developers and maintainers of critical software. Recall the XZ backdoor. Which is a critical piece of software maintained by one single person, and the attacker targeted his mental health and tried to put a backdoor in it.
That was the compression library in SSH, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. That's XZ. Yeah, exactly. There are also security researchers, engineers. There are people at risk, and there are attorneys with high-profile clients, and there are high-ranking officials in businesses and organizations. So what I want to say is there are a lot of people in between that should protect themselves from evil Maid attacks, whether they're traveling or whether they are just staying at home.
I guess you could add something to that slide right there of sometimes just pointing out that the "Hey, do not disturb" sign on your hotel door doesn't mean shit.
Yeah. I can absolutely. That's almost like what a security theater.
Yep.
So okay, let's look at the current defenses. So we have full disk encryption. Well, it's not sufficient because it doesn't encrypt the boot partition. So the attacker could modify the boot partition and load some malware on there, which will compromise the user. And then there are also TPM, Trusted Platform Module, and also Secure Boot. These are good, but I would say these are orthogonal. These are another layer of defense. What they fall short of is something like hardware tampering, like maybe the attacker just opening your laptop up and installing a hardware keylogger or hardware something in it. And so there has been previous work. So there's a project called Haven, which is made by Guardian Project. So it's installed on Android, and it utilizes the onboard sensors of Android, like the sound sensor, light sensor, motion sensor, camera, and then it detects intrusion and it sends alerts to the user via the Signal app. But the problem with it is that the alerts currently they don't work because of some problem with the API with Signal or whatever. And it has been a dormant project for some years. And also, should you trust Android? Should you trust the hardware vendor who has historically, been not so respectful to people's privacy? And also, one big problem is, what if the attacker just jams the network and then comes in, compromise both your laptop and your Android and the Heaven, which is installed on Android. So so this is where Tripwire comes in. So this is it is inspired by Haven, and it runs on a Raspberry Pi. It uses a connected camera module and a PIR motion sensor. It can survive a network outage, and it also temporarily by itself. So this is how it looks like right now. So you put there's a motion sensor, passive infrared. It detects heat change. That's how it detects motion, and human bodies are pretty warm. So yes, if there's an intruder that is human, they will be detected.
It can tell if you're dead or not.
Yes, but I have to say yes. It doesn't protect against like robots. AIs are pretty big nowadays. So if an AI robot is coming in to compromise it, you'll have to rely on a camera module which detects the difference between photos. It uses some parameter, some metrics called a structural similarity index (SSIM). Well, it's good for comparing photos. And it uses that to compare each adjacent pair of photos, and also the first photo versus the last photo to see if there's been a big enough difference. And so, okay, what's the architecture? So there's a server that runs on Raspberry Pi. You do need a domain name because the traffic between the server and client, it'll be the web traffic, it'll be HTTP. It does have to be encrypted, otherwise it defeats the whole thing. And because you'll be deploying it in your home, you do need to set up dynamic DNS, and also and you can you have to use a domain name for the encrypted TLS traffic. And then you have
you thought about ways to streamline this to make it easier for your average user who's
yes,
not as tech savvy?
Yes. That is definitely one goal that's kind of down the road. Yes, currently, if you guys look at the GitHub page, it's pretty long, and you do need to
I'm actually looking at it as we speak.
Yeah.
We have a question from the audience. For physical
I was
attack,
thinking more
putting sensors inside the hardware that is vulnerable, as well as the camera and PIR sensor, makes sense.
Absolutely, and you will see how this is addressed in a few more slides. So, and yes, as in terms of for usability, I think it'll be great if I can package it into some kind of small box that you can kind of just buy from somewhere, and then you just plug and play, just plug it in, it installs everything by itself. But currently, that's still being worked on. I think I'm not good at packaging myself. So but that's definitely one goal.
My first
and then
having a Pi hat that's got a PIR sensor on it would probably be a good first step. So then you have to have a breadboard with the wires.
Yes, I think I should definitely avoiding the breadboard and connecting the wires as much as possible. There was one person who brought it up that a lot of times people may be in a rush, and just connecting those wires to the right spots, it could be messed up when you're in a rush.
It's prototyping though, so this is just proof of concept.
Right.
This is not the finished product.
Yes,
and you mentioned it needs a domain. So let's say you want to use this in a hotel room. Can you use this with dynamic DNS or something like that?
Great question. So when you're in a hotel room, that is, when you're in a hotel room, you don't have control of the network. So, and dynamic DNS won't work. So in this case, this is also on the roadmap, but we can set up a relay server that you deploy somewhere that you deploy on a public cloud, or you deploy on a at a machine that you own, that lets the Raspberry Pi at the hotel send all the data to the relay server, and then your phone gets all these data from the relay server. But the relay server, I think it's pretty simple, but I still haven't made it. It's definitely on the roadmap though. So, whoops, where are we? Okay, yeah, and then there are web server uses Flask, Python Flask. It also uses Python to read the sensor. There's you do need a reverse proxy. We're using Caddy, and it supports dynamic DNS. And also, you do need to set up HTTP basic auth, because you don't want anybody to be able to access the website at all. It should be only you that can access the website.
And you have to
On
use
a
a pretty strong password with that, because basic
Yes.
auth is going to get brute forced.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yes. And I definitely recommend a password manager in this case. And on a client, so the client uses a technology called a progressive web app, or PWA for short. And I try to keep the dependencies down, so I'm just using vanilla JavaScript. And then the thing about PWA is that it's installable, and on a phone you can just, it's a website. Sometimes when you browse the website, you see the install button. That is PWA at work. And this saves efforts for me, because now I don't have to put it on the app stores.
I'm actually not familiar with PWA. That's a new term for me.
Yeah, it's kind of a new thing on the web. And also on iPhone, we definitely need PWA. It needs to be in an app for the notification to be delivered. And I think PWA, it does that.
Acts like a native application, providing benefits like being installable on a home screen, working offline, and supporting push notifications.
That's
Okay,
pretty cool.
got
I've
got
seen
it.
a couple of web pages that function that way, like the Oregon app for like ticketing for the zoo and stuff. It's like that, installs to your home screen, and it can send you notifications. It's cool shit.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
pretty sick.
I'm just happy that it exists. And also GitHub, when you go to GitHub, you can also see an install button on there.
So saith we all.
Yeah. So, okay, this is, I have a live demo, but maybe you can save it down later.
I can actually play it now if this is where you want to do it.
Just a little bit later, after I talk about the the simple theory of how it works.
All right,
and
just
then you'll
hold on when
see.
you're ready.
Yes, I'll definitely let you know. So, explore some streaming technology. Okay, well, right now you should probably get the idea that Tripwire has monitoring capability. So, okay, how do we view a stream from the camera? So, the current implementation is that it's just a stream of photos instead of a video. So I tried videos with something called an impact dash, but it's just like a huge delay. It's not for that purpose. So right now it's a stream of photos, and you'll see a grid of the photos. And the photos are updated every second. And I actually like this, it being a stream of photos, because for now you can add metadata to each photo. For example, okay, what time is this photo comes in, and also has it been signed? Also, has it coming before some sort of critical moment or after a critical moment? Things like that. And in contrast to like a video stream, which may be harder for that purpose.
Is there a reason you don't use something like RSS?
RSS, as I'm actually not too familiar
Real,
with RSS.
real
Is
simple
that
syndication. I don't think that would be a good technology for video streaming there, Sledge.
Well, I mean, for like transferring pictures.
How would RSS be good for transferring pictures?
I've never done it, but I've heard you can do it.
Oh. Anyhow, WebRTC.
maybe.
Good choice.
That's maybe for the future, but as I was saying, I don't think I can easily add metadata onto each frame of the WebRTC stream. That may be harder. So I'm kind of happy with a stream of photos. Okay, demo later.
We got
Okay,
a comment from Matt in the audience. He says a TPU would probably make it easier to process video.
Okay,
I
sure.
think that's a trusted platform unit.
No, I think it's is that an AI thing? Is that a TPU? I forgot what it was standing for. TPU.
I'm not sure.
Okay, maybe you can look it up. TPU computer. I've definitely heard of it. Tensor processing unit. Yeah, I think it's an AI thing that people use it for AI. Probably
Tensor,
things like TensorFlow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but we don't need that. Actually, you know what? Maybe that'll help because I do. Currently, the comparison of videos take some numbers of milliseconds. But anyway, so okay, now let's talk about the big problem. So what if the attacker comes in, they disables the network first? So okay, well then the user won't be alerted, and they won't see the stream of photo either. What if the attacker then compromises, the target device and the Raspberry Pi and tripwire? The user will then just never know that there's been intrusion. So the idea is very simple. It's what I call the volatile secret. Basically, before tripwire is armed, the server shares a secret with the user, and it shares one secret per sensor, and when one sensor it detects some kind of motion or intrusion, it just erases that sensor secret. And then when the user comes back, if the server can still review the secrets, then it means it didn't detect any intrusion. If it cannot, or if it reveals a wrong secret, then the user will know, okay, it has detected something, and probably also it has been tampered with. So a secret can be pretty simple. It's a random secret. It can be short. It can just be a random number between 0 and a million. It could be 2 random phrases from a big dictionary. The point is that it cannot be forged after erasure. So when the attacker eventually enters the area where tripwire monitors, tripwire just erases the secret immediately. What's the attacker gonna do? They can just guess. They cannot restore it at all. They can just guess, and they'll probably guess it wrong.
Yeah, at this point, it's a whole other conversation about cracking passwords.
Yeah, and it's not like the attacker is going to have the hashcat expertise to try and figure that out, assuming that that's even what would be needed.
There may not be something like that, right? If it's erased if it's given to the sensor gives it to the user, which I assume lives on the phone, and then the device itself will erase that signature, right? That secret on the device that has given the secret. So you can't. There's no way to recover that. That's what.
Right.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Yes. You can. It wouldn't be something like hashcat. It would probably be something related to memory recovery, disk recovery. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe like Evil Jinx or something for 2-factor.
Evil Jinx. What is Evil Jinx though?
Evil Jinx is for phishing.
Ah, okay.
That's a whole different animal. Yeah.
I know it's a whole other tangent, but
no. Sure. From what I can tell here, based on what he's explained here, it doesn't look like it's not. There's no interaction between a human and the device to get that secret, other than we've connected it together, right? So you can't phish that because there's no person button. There also does not look like there's a second factor of authentication here somewhere. So
yeah, currently there's no 2FA. Yeah.
I was going to ask about that earlier, but go on ahead, Dr. Freeman.
Okay. So Demo coming soon. Walk through. Okay. I think this is probably a good time to show the demo. The demo video.
All right, Sledge, you ready for it?
Ready? 1 second.
This is actually really neat. It was very well done.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Let me explain one thing before the demo starts. So what you will see is a real, it's an actual web interface as seen on the phone, but I demoed it with paper drawing because I don't want to put my face on a GitHub page. As you can see. Okay. Do you guys get what's going on? Maybe you can play that again.
So you've got the door and you've got the stream.
Yes.
As the door starts to move, it detects it based on the pictures it's taking every second. You said.
Yes, exactly.
And then it will alert you via your app. Here.
Exactly.
And then
as you see,
take pictures. Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. As you see, they're having phone notification on the top when it detects something. As soon as the intruder shows up, that's the first thing you notice, the notification. The second thing is if you look at the top, it says secrets. Previously, everything is in black. You have two pre-shared random number, and the server is actually sending these secrets back every second as well. So it's like a continuous comparison. And as soon as the client detects that the secrets sent back from the server mismatches, it will just alerts the user. And then the third thing you notice is that as the photo, the grid of photo is showing up down there, you are seeing colors. So previously, at first, you'll see that on the header bars of each photo, this is a metadata header. You'll see, the timestamp, you'll see two green boxes. So let me explain that. So for each photo, if that photo is received while the secret has been matching, it will be marked green. Right, and we have two secrets, one for the motion sensor, one for the camera. So we have two boxes. If a photo is, let's say, if a photo is received while the secret for the motion sensor matches, then you'll have a green box for the motion sensor, and then same thing for the camera. And you can see that if it is received after it has been detected that the secret's mismatch, you'll have a red box. It'll just be visually easy to tell, which photos you can absolutely trust and which ones you may have to question. And also there's a third box. You'll see that particularly the first 5 seconds of photos received immediately after detection, you'll see a blue box after that. And the blue box basically indicates that, first of all, it has a signature. It receives a signature and that it is valid. And only the 5 seconds after detection has this signature verification mechanism, because if the secrets matches, then there's no need for signatures. It's only after detection, we have to check, there's a 5 second window that will send back signature. And then after 5 seconds, the server will delete the private key that signs these photos, because we don't want the attackers to, gain their hands onto the private key as well. And, for signatures, it's kind of assuming that, that the attacker cannot compromise the whole thing in 5 seconds, or maybe, a configurable number of seconds. So there's a quite a bit of information. I do want to make sure that everybody is following.
Yeah, following so far.
Yes, makes absolute sense.
Great. And what you can notice is that right below the secrets, there's a thing called server's public key in PEM format. So the user does need to save that server public key on their phone before deployment as well, because you don't want the attacker to, just forge their own key pair and say, hey, this is valid. So the user also has a public key saved beforehand. Do we have a comment in YouTube?
That's what Maddie was just asking.
The first one here was the secrets sent back could be easily captured and decrypted. I assume it's hashed, but I thought I'd ask.
So the secret, the secret is received on the user's phone, and the user carries their phone with them when they are out and about. So I don't think the secrets can be captured or hacked, because the user keeps their phone with them. And also, this is, all the traffic is like HTTPS, is TLS, that is paramount. So it does require the whole thing to be encrypted. And as long as they are, then the user cannot, the attacker cannot break it.
You also have to have the private key to cipher out the public key, yes. So you can't just use the public key. You have to have that private key to be able to decipher what you're transmitting, the data that you're getting. So that first,
yes, unless you're the NSA.
Hypothetically, you could sniff out that data. You couldn't do much with it unless you had that private key. To answer that question.
Yes. Yep.
And we got a shout out from an audience member that said, "Sup hackers, it's me, Oncey." That's that guy right there.
Hello.
Welcome. Nice to see you, dude.
Yeah.
Good to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. And
but yeah, this is excellent.
This is a cool idea, man. I like it.
Thanks.
The next thought that hit me, or as we were going through as we were watching the demo here, I was like, well, how do you? So when the first thing that comes to my mind is you have old shows or whatever that you have the dad take his hair and put it on the doorknob to kind of same concept. And I'm like, well, how do you keep from setting it off yourself, right? Well, you go back and look at data, and it's you. Obviously, it's So
that exactly. So you said here on it. So this is where the network is a magic. You can kind of reach things without touching it. It's going to reach things remotely. Yeah. There's one maybe one last thing if we have time.
Sure.
I want to talk about false positives. So this system right now, as I've mentioned, it's very fragile. It's very brittle to false positives, and there can be two kinds of false positives. One is just benign. There's no attacker. Just detect something wrong. And the second is the attacker is trying to induce a false positive to mess with you. So how to deal with that? So again, as we can see, the grid of photos, it has markers on them, so you can immediately see, which photos belong to the 5 seconds after a detection. And there's actually a filter option on the thing as well. You can just filter a photo by their metadata. You can filter by, does it have a signature on it? And you can, as soon as you do that, you'll see 5 photos. Then you can visually see, is it a false positive, or did someone actually open the door? And if it's a false positive, you can just remotely re-on the whole thing, which regenerates a new secret, regenerates a key pair, just reset things and keep going from there. But if it's an attacker, right? If it's an attacker, what they'll do, they'll first disable the network, and then they'll disable persistently. They'll keep disabling, and then they'll let's say they induce a false positive somehow. I don't know, move the door a little bit. Who knows? Somehow induce a false positive, and then what will happen is that tripwire immediately erases secrets, and 5 seconds later it erases the secret key as well. The attacker waits for 5 seconds, and they comes in, and then they compromise everything.
Mhm.
Now, when the user comes back, what will they see? They will see that, okay, the network's disabled. They can't reach tripwire.
Mhm.
Still, they have no choice but to enter the deployment area themselves.
And the hacker
Remember that.
walks off. Oh, go
I
ahead.
do have
Remember
some
that-
questions.
Yes. Yeah.
When we get around to it, I do have some questions, hardware
Okay, yeah.
related.
Sure. But when know that when the if the tripwire detects a user, it will also erase a secret. So it will be hard to differentiate. Okay, did the tripwire detect the attacker, or was it just detect the user? It will be impossible to differentiate it. But something will be helping us here. We are in luck because what the user can do, they open the door. Okay, they cannot connect to tripwire. They say fuck it. They enter. They pull off. They just power off Raspberry Pi. They pull off the SD card.
Mhm.
They plug it into, let's say, a trusted computer, not the same device, because it could be compromised. Yes, they plug it into a trusted computer, maybe a friend's laptop, or maybe a random computer in a library. Who knows? And then
There you go.
they compare. Then they can, on a computer, they can first of all check the signatures. Okay, signature, do they match? And there will be a time, they'll see that there's a point where there stops being signature. There stops having signatures. So is this time right when the user returned, or is this time way before the user returned? If it is way before, then tripwire probably detected something.
Mhm.
And okay, what's the possibility of a persistent network outage and a false positive happening at the same time?
But does it still take? So is as long as it's plugged up, even if it can't get network access, it can't reach that server that you've set up. Does it still take pictures?
Yes, it's constant. Yes, it's always taking pictures. It's always signing photos as long as it has a private key.
So
This is also why I wanted to talk about hardware. Like, do you have out of band like SS or SMS or anything?
Out of band SMS. Currently, no. I don't see why we need that.
Just for the notifications, it could be kind of a cool add-on to.
Right. Oh, I see what you. Right. Yes. So currently, no. I see what you mean. But yes, maybe something. Yeah, out of band. Maybe instead of using the home network, maybe using 5G mobile network. But also, one shortcoming is that if the net attacker's network jammer can just jam everything, including 5G. So maybe something like a cable network. Maybe we do need some future research for that. It'll be good to have a robust second band.
Yeah, having
I was going to ask
failover
what
to
microcontroller
like
you're
5G
using.
would be cool.
Yeah, because determining on the microcontroller you're using, you could easily attach a 5G radio to it or something. Put a SIM card in there and have out of band.
Sure. My
Yes.
Well, back to my original question to the picture thing. If you killed the network, you're looking for those your timestamps and your the signatures on the pictures. But if somebody unplugs the thing, you still have that knowledge, or you can go back and look at those timestamps. So say you walk in and the device is running. If there's a 10-minute span of where there's no pictures or whatever, this thing's been unplugged and can determine, So if I were going to use something like this, I would, in any real scenario, I would watch or I would look at it before I did anything else. Especially
the other use case is what if they stole the device?
Yeah, I mean, then somebody's been there, and you can just assume it's been compromised.
Yeah.
At this point, if there's any kind of tampering at all, if it's gone, if it's destroyed, if it's your card's not there, you may not have the data that the person is there. You just have the data that a person was there, and now that your devices could be compromised, and don't use those.
Yes, if you see someone completely.
What's the buffer like on the phone as far as saving the images? If you wanted to.
Yes. So we have limited storage, both in memory and in on a disk. So maybe for an iPhone that was 16 gigabytes, a phone, one photo is like a few hundred kilobytes, if I remember correctly. So, okay, long story short, the longest period of time that I have had tripwire running is around 14 days.
And you can see the whole 14 days?
No, but I could retrieve it from the server.
Okay, so
Not everything is stored. Not everything is stored locally. Especially, I tested on the iPhone.
Mhm.
The thing with iPhone is that every time I open the tripwire PWA, it has to like reconnect and redoes the whole thing. So it's like getting, it's restarting. It just gets okay. As soon as I open it, I see the photos coming in, but nothing before that.
Is there a way to export a certain time period from 3 to 3:30 if you wanted
Yes,
to?
yes.
And like anybody.
So a convenient feature is that right now the photo grid is like it could be you can set it to 60 photos per page, up to 1,200 photos per page, and then if it's 60 per page, then you go to the let's say 10th page, then it will show the photo of 10 minutes ago, or 20th page, it will show the photos of 20 minutes ago. Sometimes even if the browser cannot store all that, it will retrieve it. And
even if the device is taken, destroyed, or unhooked or whatever?
No, if the device is taken, then obviously there's no if the Raspberry Pi is just like taken away, then there's no.
So what I would do is I would integrate some kind of data storage to that, right? If I've got something running here at the house, I want to be able to store those pictures that I'm seeing, because if I'm using this, it's important, right? And I'll get that information even if I don't have the Pi itself, because somebody's coming to my systems.
Very interesting. Okay.
Pictures, and I don't have to worry about that device. I'll get everything up into the point where they've taken it, destroyed it, whatever they're going to do with it.
I think that is cool. So if the Raspberry Pi is just like taken,
yep.
As you said previously, it's an obvious sign of someone being there already. You should assume compromise. But if you send the data somewhere else, maybe a storage on the cloud, or maybe your own solution, then you can actually catch them. You can actually catch.
You're already shipping out that data. Why would you save it?
I guess you could use Nextcloud or something.
Yeah, that's
I think so. Yeah,
in the future, if it were me.
Yes.
Hey guys, Afix has joined us. He's been on cast a few times before. Just another co-host here.
How you guys doing? Sorry, I missed the first chunk of the show. / I don't know how.
What's up, fucker?
Yeah, what's up, motherfucker? How you been, dude?
We got
another
comment from the audience here. Depending on the case / form factor, could integrate a small battery for power interruption, an SD card for storage if the network goes down, for retrying upload if for some reason it fails to upload.
Yeah, let me read that.
Because like this would be great. You stick a little camera off of it. Yeah, this is a God, what are they called? A Ponagashi. But it could be used like it. That's what I'm thinking. Like you have something small like this, you got a little hat, whatever. You stick a little PID sensor. You got a battery, and you drop a little camera in it. And you print a different case, and you just have this sitting up, sitting right here where you can see the door of a hotel room or something, and nobody's going to pay attention to this if it's sitting up on a counter or something. Especially if it's cameras up.
I would.
You would.
It's kind of fun to put it in like googly eyes.
just the thought.
I would walk away with a free Raspberry Pi.
Yes, there you go. We prepare for the threats that we are, right? And that's but that's just my thoughts as I'm sitting here thinking about it. Battery's a good idea, offsite backup's a good idea. Things to think about as you move forward with the project. And I'm assuming you're going to move forward with the project if you're bringing it up.
Yes, I hope so. I can see it going big, and a few years down the road, the code base just gets huge, and then the maintainer is just like nowhere to be found. Just kidding.
I can see uses for this in my own personal doing.
Like a security camera home DVR solution in your pocket. You know.
Yep.
Mhm.
I can see a couple of reasons that I would use this.
I want to throw an
so glad
idea
to
out
hear that.
there.
Mhm.
This might be a potential physical pen test, like network drop. This could be useful for physical pen testing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See if somebody's coming to do something. Use it
Mm-hmm.
the opposite way to see if the owner's there and maybe take pictures, whatever it is. If they have a
Or just like monitoring and what you call it, reconnaissance, whatever.
What
Good
time
work.
the security guard comes by?
There you go. That'd work.
Yeah.
Forgive me for missing the context. Somebody want to give me like a 2-sentence summary?
It's
So
a device that they've built a device that will basically alert your phone with pictures to tell you if somebody has entered a room or compromised your systems. It's using a camera and a PID sensor to determine if somebody has come into a space.
And is Freeman working on that? Is one of us working on it?
Yes.
Is it? Oh,
Freeman
awesome.
is-
That's
Yes,
pretty cool.
yes, thank you. Yeah, that's my thing. And also, it's like temporary evidence by itself. So if someone tries to disable the network and compromise the target device and entry wire in this tool, it'll be obvious to the user.
It's called Tripwire. And
You could probably
Tripwire,
use a
yes.
similar library to what I'm using for this joint rigging thing that I have going on over here.
Oh,
Which
that is
I
pretty
was-
cool.
wow.
I was trying to like get in the face matching and everything to match control net was the original goal, so that you could then feed it right into like image gen to basically be the pose that you're doing right at the moment, essentially, like while you're doing it, which is pretty cool. But it's a little jank while I'm trying to I have to feed it to a virtual browser source, which then goes back into OBS, which then comes back into here. So it's the best I got, which is a little janky. But his feet do start flying up if I stick it out the right direction. It's pretty hilarious. And his feet start kicking, which is really funny. But anyway, so yeah, how's everybody else been?
well,
Oh, pretty good, man.
I actually need
Busy
to.
as shit.
I've been meaning to reach out to you, Afix, for a little bit. I'm working on a project that I want some of your input on with your audio skills, if you don't mind. We'll talk
No,
later.
absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I can see myself using that rig, because I don't want to show my face online, but what if I show a rig? It's like I'm kind of there. Right now I'm just showing an avatar.
We can just do that plus the shadow mask I have going on behind me, and you basically can get both of them at the same time, essentially.
Just
You know what
just AI Doc Freeman. It's fine.
You could definitely
Sure.
do that too. It's in terms of generating, we're getting really close, but you can't, even with a really awesome graphics card, especially while streaming, it's really tough to make images fast enough to make that all actually work. But we're not terribly far.
There was a dude in Japan who he face masked himself using one of those apps and made himself look like a cute girl, and he got enough money from simps to get himself a motorcycle.
Yeah, not at all to show Linus Tech that they did
Like a boss.
They took a guy that kind of sort of looked like him, and then overlaid his face and then his voice. And while if you know what you're looking for, you can tell. For the layman, it would be really difficult.
There was one artist, probably 5, maybe 10 years ago now, who really nice 3D printed prosthetics of his own face. And the idea was that you sell them and then everybody else just wears them. And it's if we all show up as the same person, to facial recognition systems. Then
I would love that. I if I were to give this talk on a conference, I would love that. Can you link me? Is there a term I can search for?
I happen to know a guy with a 3D printer if you ever need anything.
Yeah, to
Oh,
do
sure.
rubberized prosthetics, I'm not sure.
With facial recognition notices the granular of the freaking layers of each print.
Layers, sir. What layers? We don't have layers here. We fixed that problem. That we did. We fixed a lot of those problems.
Oh yeah, that hammer was pretty freaking sweet.
Jessica Mariska's got a question here. It would be beneficial to have the option to send notifications through multiple channels in case someone gains access to their phone beforehand and disables notifications.
Yeah, that's all on the
Interesting.
server, right? It would all be on the server.
Yeah.
So I guess okay. So we've been talking about if someone
Under the orb.
compromised the Raspberry Pi, but okay, what if someone tries to compromise the phone? Okay, if they just take it away again, I guess the user will at least know that they've been targeted.
Yeah,
But
I
for sure,
mean-
yeah, if it just looks like if okay, let's imagine if there's like a let's say seemingly robbery, right? So if they seem to be robbed, then yes, okay, I can see that. Yes, I can see a second way to receive the notifications from Tripwire will be good. Yes, I agree.
They would be on the server, which you should be able to access from your home network, correct? Even without that secret key.
That let's see. You will just need remember your own HTTP basic auth password to access a website.
See, there we go. Easy enough.
Yes.
That's honestly another can of worms because you'd want to do Cloudflare reverse proxies and do it actually secure. You don't want HTTP auth exposed to the internet.
Well,
You
I
mean
mean,
basic
you got to
auth
look at
as
the
opposed to, like,
threat
HTTPS,
surface
or-
here. If the thing gets compromised, the worst case scenario is people are seeing a video stream of a laptop. So,
I mean, sure, but still, you're compromised. Do it
Well,
right.
actually, there's a consequence. If someone managed to break HTTP basic auth and sees the website themselves, then they can see the secrets. And
yeah.
with the knowledge of secrets, they can compromise the Raspberry Pi, and they can make it keep sending back the same secrets. So yes, it will be critical.
I would argue it depends on the implementation, right? So you could get a session token and that expires eventually. That's one thing that would not exactly last forever. There's also, like, if you use an HTTPS and not using like NSA curves or like, well, anything from RSA, in theory, you're relatively safe curve wise.
A little slip there, huh?
They took that fat check from NSA to leave a bunch of crappy primes in there. But like, yeah, there's I mean, the fact that DNS is still not protected by default for most people is just insane to me. That's a whole separate conversation. Or SMS not encrypted by default. I mean, there's so many layers of just like basic shit that nobody even tries. So it's just mind-boggling. Yeah, I mean, if I see what domain you're hitting at some regular interval, that's plenty to know what you're freaking doing. Is this open source right now, Freeman? Is that your GitHub?
Yes, that is my
awesome.
GitHub project.
May I ask? I've been thinking about this recently with respect to a lot of different open source projects. A, I don't know if you have many pull requests, but B, what is your kind of stance or kind of like plan for, like, say you start getting actual traction and now you're getting like 100 pull requests a day of just like AI generated crap.
Oh, really?
Seriously?
So seriously, do I need to worry about AI generated pull requests?
Oh, absolutely. You have no idea. Like, so it's like they'll have entire like the comments on the PR might have nothing to do with the actual code. Like, and it's like plaguing so many projects now because you've got everybody can just like throw the thing into code or Claude or whatever and be like, hey, do this. And like, hey, update your code base, and they send something over, and like they didn't actually look at it; they just assume it's right. And so this is, I don't even know honestly how best to handle something like that, other than actually look at the code they're writing. But if it's 50 files, like, what are you going to do? Like, nobody has time for that. You got 20 of those a day.
Please merge my ChatGPT generated garbage code into your hardly maintained project.
Right. Exactly.
Everybody says that technology is a double-edged sword, but honestly, some double-edged swords, one edge is much bigger than the other. And for AI, it's the bad edge is, in my opinion, it's another misuse of AI. Yeah,
that should happen with HackerOne too, not for pull requests, but for actual submissions of bounties with like nonsense, like web application vulnerabilities that are nonsense. It's great.
Right. It just submits a million different sites to securityheaders.io, just takes the report, switches it into, hey, you don't have
a content
OSCP
security policy. Right. That's a vulnerability.
Exactly. It's like, or your CSV is too open. It's like, we use WebSockets. What do you want? Yeah, exactly.
It's job security for your false positive analysis team.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that would actually be a great stream. Have you guys ever looked into the It's on GitHub. It's like the guide to how to write unmaintainable code. It's like massive. It's so good.
You sent me that,
and
I
it's
looked into it.
it's like one of the funniest things of all time, and it's just
All
got
right,
like a
send the
million
link for show notes.
terrible hacks. Yeah, all right, give me a sec. GitHub unmaintainable code. That'll probably find it.
I feel like
And it's how to write unmaintainable code on GitHub, and that's pretty much it. And it's just a massive like readme.txt, and it like shows so many crazy techniques in so many different languages, like coding languages, and like how to just basically. I mean, some of the C hacks are ridiculous. Some of it is honestly just hilarious, and I would just say just scroll through it. And if anybody finds something, feel free to share it because it's just awesome. Just scroll to a random point and just read it because it's just too good.
we start with never friend, which can be explained by confidence.
Hanlon's razor.
I had it when I first heard that. One of my mentors told me I never immediately attribute to malice what can be explained by misconfiguration, and that is
right.
That is what I teach my kids.
Yes, that's Hanlon's razor, I believe. Yeah, Lisp is a dream language for writing unmaintainable code. Using like C to like define like primitives as other things, like it's like you can just do the create like or just operators or like even the section on like random comments in the middle of an unrolled loop that just kind of like hide a couple lines. Like there's just so much good there. That I highly recommend just scrolling and enjoying for a while. I spent a good couple hours when I first saw it, just enjoying all of the nonsense.
It sounds like the first time I saw like LOL bins or something like that. Like, really?
Yeah. But if you were going to really write a guide on how to like have proper job security, that's pretty much it.
This is one of the greatest things I've ever read. I'm going to spend hours on this later, dude.
Oh yeah, and it's worthy. There's so much. Just capitalize things weirdly. Use terms that are just like archaic. Like it's like there's just so many good ones.
This is so good.
Things that work in one compiler but not another. For like it's a million different things.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Actually, I wrote my first Rust in the last couple of weeks.
My Burp Suite. I have a crack for Burp Suite Pro, and it doesn't work on the newer versions of Java. So I decided to decompile it and then like put it back together. And there's just subtle differences between the library versions that they picked that make it such a pain in the ass to make it work with the new version of Java. Because just like the encryption library got renamed between the old version and the new one. And there are subtle differences in the way you have to call it function, and it was such a pain in the ass to make it
as opposed to a million dots. It's like I don't know, camel case or something like that.
Yeah, it's stupid shit.
Yeah. Then you got that compiler where you could use the free version to crack the professional version.
That's what I did.
Oh, actually, you guys might know this. So I had a legit Win 11 Pro key. I downgraded to Windows 10. I only use a local account to sign in. I don't use
Absolutely, yes, do that.
So what is the way to keep getting like extended updates? Is there
with ESU? You got to sign up for backup and repair.
It's called
link it to a Microsoft account.
I think.
Yeah, there's a long-term support branch.
I know there is, but they turned it off for local accounts like 2 days before the switch, I think.
You can bullshit.
Okay, all right. Well, then I'll ask you guys for links later.
Yeah, you can bullshit your way through it.
Okay, because I'm definitely eligible. Like I said, it's actually a legit 11 Pro key, which is backwards compatible, obviously, because it's the same fucking thing.
IEX get activated.
And various flags in the start menu that you can't get rid of.
Oh, you and your valid license key. I fucking Pico all my shit.
Hey, that's fine. I'm cool with that. I don't know. I'm a little worried, especially if I'm like ever gonna touch like work shit or like I don't know. There's certain stuff.
No. Everything work related gets legitimate keys.
Hey, they pay for that.
Yeah,
well, whatever.
That's all
but I'm also gonna want to use my nice computer with a good graphics card.
TPM works.
Yeah. All right. As long as there's a way, because I think it was like literally like get.activated.win or something like that you could use.
Yep.
Like you could curl a script and it worked. But the local account version got totally disabled like 2 days before the actual cutover, which drives me fucking crazy. And so I've been trying to figure it out. But whatever. I'm just assuming there's going to be some stupid vulnerability that I'll get hit by.
There's a thing that you can do. I've read up on it. I haven't done it, but the machine that I'm on right now is Windows 10, so I have to do it myself because it is.
All right. Well, we can work through it together then, and maybe we can record something.
Yeah, I gotta get with you anyway for some other stuff. So like, yeah, we'll talk.
That'd be great.
I got you.
Yeah. I'm positive it's possible because I'm pretty sure they're still shipping Windows 7 fucking updates. Let's be real. It's.
I actually.
Are they really?
You've got enough money, yeah.
So hospitals, back when Windows 10 dropped, it was after end of life for Windows 7. I know drug carts. Pixis devices. Pixis were putting out brand new Windows 7 devices right at that point in time. I know because I hacked through one of them once. That was a fun time. Learned a lot about those devices back in those days, and that was in like 2018, I think. So like, well past, or I'm pretty sure 7 end of life in 18, if I'm not mistaken. But
that's probably right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that's correct.
The only reason I updated it is because Death Stranding didn't work without 10, and I was like, I'm playing this from game.
We were definitely popping through Pixis machines back in the day, and that was fun.
Did you see? I just posted a link in chat that somebody figured out, or like they ran a web server on a disposable vape.
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty slick.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Wait, does it have a CPU on it?
Yeah,
they're crappy. Yeah,
it's like you know how you can stack Raspberry Pis to make little servers. Like let's.
Or you could take a
make
mountain. You could also just take a mountain of like thrown away Motorola Razr 3s and start AWS. That's what they did.
Exactly.
You might do better than they did this week. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
So crazy. The amount of shit that went down.
I
missed the last couple of weeks of the show, but like the US East one going down. It's like, dude, come on. If you know your AWS, you use the West Coast ones. That's what they are.
Yeah, no,
it didn't affect me at all.
A lot of things in both my day job and the nonprofit. All kinds of shit went down, man. My life I was getting it from both sides. It was terrible.
Yeah, it's like Coinbase is freaking out, Teams is down, everything is going crazy.
It sucked. It was very, very bad.
I mean, and I'm sure you guys all know where AWS came from. Amazon has a whole bunch of compute for Black Friday to Christmas, and then they don't know what to do with all that extra compute, like for the rest of the year. And so then they started selling it, and then they made a billion-dollar company, many billion-dollar company. Probably trillions because the dollar's not worth shit anymore.
It is more profitable than the money they make from selling stuff on Amazon by far.
Yeah, and then they'll say, "Oh, just switch over to the AMD CPUs," which, to be clear, you can't even actually like validate their benchmarks on this Intel CPUs because they won't sell it to you. The AMD is 30% cheaper, but it's 50% slower. So it's ridiculous.
It depends on the task, though.
That's true. That's definitely true. Yeah,
for simple shit like running a web page, it matters not.
Right, but if you're burning 80% of your CPU on like the second arc tangent or something, it ain't gonna help you. Right on. So, what's next on the news docket? Got anything good?
Oh yeah. Oh, we got some news stories to talk about.
Let's kind of.
We haven't got there first. We're still wrapping up with the.
Yeah, I was
sorry. My bad. I'm sorry.
Anything else that Doc Freeman wanted to talk about?
That was pretty much it. After I talk about false positives.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for all the good advice and suggestions. For the projects. That's pretty much. I was just handing out because I'm actually I'm not very good at offensive security. The actual hacking, I'm probably a better builder than hacker right now. So I'm just happy to tag along, and maybe ask some questions,
Oh yes, it came to us, the experts.
So Freeman, what's your status? Like, are you currently in school? Are you looking for work, or what's going on?
No, I do have a job. It's somewhat related to security, but I do have quite a bit of. It's not the work is not driving me crazy, so I do have some free time to do what I want, which is to build privacy tools that anybody can use.
Right on.
Okay.
And I may have more coming up. I'm sure every builder they suffer from this. Like I also have a short attention span to projects. I would definitely keep developing Tripwire, but I may have more coming up.
Well, if you ever need somebody to just run into a brick wall for you, holler. Please feel free to reach out. I love stuff like this. I don't build stuff myself. Like I don't program, but I'll build some stupid ass gadgets and do some dumb shit. I all the time, man. I love it. So like, which I've gotten these running, by the way. They're great. I'm still working on configuring Home Assistant. That's part of what I need to talk to you about, Afix. But anyway, neither here nor there. I love building projects and doing things and making stuff work and just seeing it to fruition and finding stuff or bugs or breaking it is that, or throwing out ideas for making stuff better. So yeah, please feel free to reach out. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, and Tripwire definitely needs quite a bit of testing. I think I'm probably the only one who has tested it. I've used 2 Raspberry Pi. It works okay, but if more people can test it, especially run it for a prolonged period of time, then that'll be very helpful. And we'll see how.
And if it's privacy / security focused. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it's not very resource intensive, right? So I could use I got 4 old Raspberry Pis sitting here. I assume they would work.
So, good question. I only tested it with Raspberry Pi 5 with 8 gigabytes.
I'm all the way back to the OG Pi.
I'm not saying Raspberry Pi 4 doesn't work.
I've got an extra Pi here that I'm not using at this moment. I could pick up.
Yeah, I have a Pi 4B. I can give it a shot.
Yeah.
I just
try it. Mm-hmm.
I just installed the Pi 5 up there for my SDR.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I use mine to
radio?
restream with FFmpeg various streams from copyrighted sites. That I pay for, to be clear.
The GitHub page does have detailed instructions. It's kind of very long now, so I do want to be as detailed as possible because I hated following instructions that just confuse me. So I want to be as detailed as possible. It's kind of long. I mean, you guys are free to just reach out to me or open an issue. If there's some confusing part.
And I was going to say, if it's like privacy versus security focus, I don't know how the rest of you guys feel about them, but generally speaking, the Electronic Frontier Foundation is actually pretty awesome.
Yes.
It might be worth just kind of pinging them and be like, hey, just take a look at this.
Yes.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, I like them a lot, and they've got good coders that if they got extra bandwidth, they might be able to help you out for different ways, different reasons.
I should definitely reach out to them.
Some of those guys in the some of my Discord chats I could hook you up with too.
Oh, sure. Nice. Oh, yeah. Okay. Which Discord chat?
We will talk about that offline.
The secret one that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's
the secret Discord of Steve and his harem.
For everything's
only Microsoft has access.
There you go.
Okay.
You guys ready to move on to the news, or do you want to keep talking about this stuff?
If Dr. Freeman has nothing else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's pretty. That's yeah.
Let's continue with the news.
Yeah, I'm down to check out the news. Yeah.
So, let's see.
You don't have an AI generated transition yet?
We did.
It's going to be a little awkward here.
Out of money.
There's some stuff that we're still getting back in order from the hiatus.
Okay. First thing here. I know that was awkward there with that screen share, but it's the best I can do.
Pretty sure I heard my yes.
F11.
183 million email accounts just got compromised. This is from one of those info stealer networks, where essentially these are emails that are compromised by malware that's on people's computer. And these are the deduplicated numbers here. So this access data was intercepted by so-called info stealers, which are malware that gets installed for the sole purpose of collecting sensitive data and passwords. They then end up directly in the hands of hackers who use them for phishing campaigns and scam attempts, or they're sold online. This data set got passed over to Troy Hunt over at Have I Been Pwned, and he has posted it So if you want to check if you're in there, go over to his website and check if you're in this leak. And if you are in there, you should really be reinstalling your operating system on all your devices and securing the crap out of them. Because if you're in that, it means one of your devices is compromised. Next.
Can we go back a little bit?
The audio is we're getting
Whoa, what the fuck? I think I need to
share the screen without audio.
Yeah,
All right.
All right, I'll be back in a minute, but I want to address those two comments from H4R1337.
It was mad for a minute there.
I really have to reboot. I'll be back in a minute.
How much of the AWS outage did you? Basically, we talked about it bad. It was wild. That's what we talked about so far.
We have a little bit more. Okay, let's try and share it without my audio. And then go window. And I'm going to share Chrome here.
Not the Harleet.
And back. Hit that up to the stage.
Where did Apex go?
He'll be back. So yeah, check Have I Been Pwned to see if you're on that one. Can you guys hear me okay now?
Yes, we're good.
All right. Next.
You should be checking you and your loved ones for stuff like that all the time anyway. Just as a general thing because we're getting caught in breaches all the time. It just is a thing that happens these days.
This is a cool little program here that turns your screenshots into searchable notes. And I just wanted to share this as a cool utility that you can do. If you got a lot of pictures, you want to be able to search for text within those pictures. This is something that you can use for that. So this guy's called, it turns these images into shareable.
Afix in the chat says we should bring him back on stage, I think, in terms of StreamYard.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Let's go back.
Bonk.
Thank you. Sorry.
No worries.
Welcome back. Yeah.
It's got built-in OCR features. It's called ShareX. It's pretty cool. Anyway, it is neat to share tools when you find them. This was a pretty nice little article about this guy who set up disposable Proxmox VMs using a couple other technologies like Ansible and Terraform. So, and also Semaphore, which is a web UI for managing and executing automation scripts. And he goes into a lot of depth about how he's able to accomplish this. I just recommend you guys check out this article on XCA Developers if you're interested in learning more about how to really up your virtualization game. Once you create templates for your VMs and build scripts that can update them, it really makes life a lot easier to manage multiple VMs.
Yeah. How do you not have an ad blocker?
So this is not my day-to-day browser. It's what I'm using. It's my old profile.
Okay. We all have a dirty browser.
I think Brave browser is pretty good. I
have Brave.
haven't seen an ad.
Not this one. This crap is.
Anyway. I'm more of a Firefox guy, mostly because I like actual ad blockers.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Manifest v3, but you got to do what you got to do. So
yeah, use Firefox.
Yeah. This article is about how ICE spies on WhatsApp users. Not a very technical article because it's in Forbes, but it's still interesting. Mm-hmm. So they got a warrant.
It's also
essentially. That's the technical thing they did. They got a warrant, and then they got handed over the data. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's again why you use end-to-end encryption. People who love to use like Telegram group chats and stuff who don't realize that no Telegram group chat is end-to-end encrypted. And like, there's no warrant that can fix the math. That means you can't get access. And I think it's like the only way to deal with any of this. It reminds me of that Australian prime minister a bunch of years ago where it's like, math is not stronger than our laws. And it's like, well, actually.
Well, they got a company out in Nebraska called Penlink. that sorts and organizes all this data for them so they can essentially grep it for illegal things. And it's a $25 million contract with ICE and this company to look for within these messages on WhatsApp things that indicate there's the presence of illegal aliens, and then use that as actionable data so that they can deploy ICE. Not something I'm a fan of.
Any chance we can go to this unmaintainable code?
In the interest of the name of the podcast, I feel like that's about right.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that Block Ice app or something which again, just anybody who installed it, if you're working for ICE doing I don't know, analytics or security, just do a subpoena and get literally everyone who installed this Block Ice app or whatever. Where you're basically do crowdsource.
It'd be funny if that were something ICE put out themselves.
But no. So it's actually, we know it's not, because the wife of the guy who developed it was working for DOJ or DOD and got fired after they found out that her husband was the guy who made this app, which is again a whole political firing thing happening. Can we get rid of this? This
the GitHub thing.
Here? But yeah, so there's, I don't know, there's a million different ways if you want to find people. Literally just go to the biggest Spanish channels that are large in America and everybody, you know what I mean, on YouTube or whatever. There's a million ways that you could easily farm this data, and it's probably not hard to find. I'm actually amazed we haven't seen it more, or maybe it's just slightly hidden.
So this was a really shitty Steam Deck clone that it's running Linux, and they left root open on it, and this guy was able to figure out how to get some cool shit running on it. So I thought this was neat. He did make Doom run on it. He not only did he get Doom running on it, but he also got other cool shit running on it.
Bird's a real hacker.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna bug you before we continue. The GitHub thing. There's the little URL there. Aphex isn't just sitting here trying to.
Which GitHub thing?
The big.
Oh, he's not seeing the screen
on the bottom of the screen. You see.
Doom or get the fuck out.
Bro's having a bad time of it.
I'm doing a Kilroy over here.
Hey, man.
Why am I the only one who knows how to get rid of things?
Hey,
because you haven't made anybody else
StreamYard is a spaceship.
StreamYard.
Give CrowdStrong manager permissions or something.
Yeah,
Sledge has them.
That's on my list. Is I have to get them to show me how to use this.
Wow.
Tonight, me and Havoc have been kind of working back and forth. It's been working good so far.
You're doing great.
So this
actually, I'd love to show you guys some ways to do this on OBS, which is for hacker podcast. We probably should be able to. Anyway, later.
I use OBS for other things. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, use it for editing video poorly. So next one, Microsoft Teams might be telling your bosses when you're out of the office or not. So this one is latest Teams update has been leaking geolocation to your administrators on Teams, essentially. And if they want to, they can share that with your boss. So
that's fucking wild. Let me go turn off. Let me make sure that's not a permission.
Yeah, so turn off location services, or
right.
will tell your boss you're not in the office.
Let's make sure that's not even a permission that's granted.
Latest Teams update.
When users connect to their organization's Wi-Fi, Teams will automatically set their work location to reflect what building they're in is one thing. But on top of that, your actual geolocation is being shared. And the ability for users to save messages in their conversations and chats, meaning they no longer have to troll back looking through long conversations. It's in the notes for the update.
So what's the easiest way to automatically spoof GPS locations on a scheduled basis?
And we did that we did that back in the days we were using Pokemon Go.
Oh, there you go. I was going to say,
back in the day.
I'm thinking back in the even like in between those days, or probably even older, where you just set your mouse on your analog watch and like the moving like second hand would make it look like you're moving the mouse.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
if it's a work laptop, it's not like you're going to have admin rights, though. So at least if your company's
SDR is
smart about
totally not
security.
a thing.
So it
SDR.
might be a bit more difficult. Oh, software-defined radio. Yeah, that's extremely illegal to broadcast a GPS beacon that's going. And you need
Just
3
don't
of
get
them.
caught.
Mhm.
Do you guys
You
know how
need 3
GPS
of
actually
them.
works? Because it's fascinating to me. So like first off, it's free because it's one way. It's like your phone just reads this stuff, and it's like a bunch of different satellites. And how do those satellites know where they are in space? They use 12 different quasars, which just haven't stopped yet, which is just like the coolest thing ever.
It knows where it is because it knows where it's not.
It's the
that and a lot
timing
of
difference
relativity.
between 3 different points.
The missile knows where it is because it knows where it's not.
Yeah, wild.
That is pretty
that's
cool.
kind of scary.
Did not know that, but that's pretty sick.
So,
Oh, look. A
uh,
whole bunch of people got doxxed.
hackers doxed hundreds of DHS, ICE, FBI, and DOJ officials. So these were people from COM. COM is a loose collective of cyber criminal gangs that includes subgroups Lapis and Scattered Spider that have been linked to some high-profile breaches.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about them last week.
They hit
Frequently in the news.
Red Hat and all kinds of other folks. They just dropped 6 or 7 big organizations worth of data. And off the top of my head, I was making fun of Fujifilm last week because they dropped like 153 megs of their data, which, when you've got terabytes of fucking Salesforce data just sitting. Yeah.
Did you guys report on Azure kicking off Unit 8200 from their servers a couple weeks ago?
No.
Yeah, that's like the Israeli
No.
cyber warfare division that's like astroturfing the internet. But yeah, like I guess a bunch of Microsoft employees went on protest, and then
Did that correlate with
they
the
finally
outage?
kicked them off. No, I mean maybe by about 2 weeks off. So I don't know if that's correlated. Also, it's Azure, not AWS.
Yeah.
So
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Go ahead, Frank. Sorry about that.
It's okay. The leaked files included government email addresses, personal contact details, and residential addresses. And the Telegram poster mocked an unverified DHS claim and demanded $1 million for not releasing more information. U.S. officials warned the exposure could compromise the safety and privacy of hundreds of U.S. government officials. And the attack fits a multi-year pattern of high-profile breaches by related groups. So very similar to what other groups have done.
Yep. Scatter, Spider, Shiny Hunters, all those folks. Yep.
Hey, look, there's Clippy. So,
Hey, he just keeps coming. I'm telling you, he did it.
Even
This motherfucker won't go away.
Damn
You
it.
guys know why that's a thing, right? I assume.
So hear this. Google has decided that starting in 2026, they're going to be tightening the screws on sideloading, meaning you'll no longer be able to run APK files on your Android phone if you want to receive security
Like
updates.
fucking hell, I won't.
Fuck you.
Yeah, like hell, I won't.
I will
Fuck
tap
that.
about and I will tap the version 15 times and I will get developer access and I will do whatever the hell I want.
He's got it.
They're going for the walled garden concept, and they want to be similar to iOS in that it's a perceived better look for security if you have a walled garden.
They can wall my garden.
Because that's what the internet was for, right? Walled gardens?
Hey, look, the NES.
You're referring to people who, yeah. There's always been an underground adapters to work around region locks and bootleg games that relied on various hacks, yada, 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 burning CDs. So, yeah, they're just kind of this articles at this point, not adding anything else that's of value. They're just, but that's the news that they're planning on locking down the OS. If you want to get security updates, you won't be able to sideload anymore, which is bullshit.
They've done that for a long time.
Last about 10 minutes.
I mean, as far as I know, even for like the more dedicated, like deep nerds in that regard, like there's like Google Wallet and different like apps like that, you really need a pretty untainted system for any of that stuff to work, or they lock it down pretty quickly. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I think the next option at that point is Graphene OS or something like that, probably.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
is
rock
Google
Graphene.
Wallet still around?
Google Wallet doesn't work on Graphene.
And Google Wallet, it's Google Pay now, I think.
Or whatever
Google
the hell
Pay,
it's called. I don't know. That's
same
all
shit.
bullshit.
I'm pretty sure Google
You
Wallet
can't,
itself.
you can't pay with your phone if you have Graphene. And they can't like tap.
You
Right.
just don't do the cards anymore.
Yeah, but also, who the hell wants a little cloud of their credit card information just walking around them at all times? That seems insane to me.
I mean, I don't know. 10 years ago, I had a card where I could push a button and change between different cards, and Google was one of them, and that was pretty freaking sweet.
Like the idea of, I mean, I've seen so many videos of just like people like walking out of like a university and then somebody just waving a wand behind their back pocket and just picking up and walking right back. Like, this is the standard kind of my fare, like whatever you've seen, NFC type.
Yeah.
But like, there's, I don't know, it's always sketched me out, and I understand it's a rolling key and all sorts of other things, but like, it's still, I don't know, it still sketches me out.
It's insanely funny that you bring this up because 13 minutes ago, I swear to God, I'm not making this up. 13 minutes ago in my family group chat, my sister just posted something about ghost tapping. I was like, I don't even have to read this to tell you that just turn your NFC off, but also don't put your cards in your shit, dude. It's really not hard.
You can't even make it a quick setting.
I know what you're talking about.
You can't even turn off quick settings, like at least with the latest Android update. I can't make it a quick setting in the drop downs up top to just turn NFC off. I have to like specifically hit settings, type NFC, find the setting, turn it off, which is just insane to me. Like,
wait, it's not there anymore?
I can't make it a quick setting. I have to like specifically go deep into settings.
Am I?
Yeah, that's a manufacturer decision.
No, mine's still here. What the fuck? That's
okay,
weird.
I mean, I'm using like, let's see, Nexus or I forget what the fuck I'm using.
I'm on an old
launcher.
I'm on an old.
The last issue.
Yeah.
I got a Pixel 8 or whatever, but like still, I don't know. It updated to whatever the latest Android is last week, and I've been curious like what
Switch
AI
over to
crap I
Graphene
can't
and you can
disable
use
and that
it.
kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then I have to like take everything off of it.
You have to redo your two-factor.
No, dude, like it's mostly a disk space problem. Like I've got 4 terabytes in this hard drive, and like I'm struggling to maintain 150 gig free.
What's it have to do with your phone?
Well, my phone's another 128 gig, which is also I don't have enough space to store the freaking signal backups from
4
everything
terabytes.
that
Man, I'm
So the last issue I had with my Samsung was about 2 years ago, and that was where I legitimately got SIM hijacked. And that's when I realized that you have to opt in to a PIN to protect your SIM card. And that became a lawsuit.
Have you messed with the eSIMs at all, Sledge? Because they're actually awesome. I used it for the first time when I was in Europe earlier this year, and like eSIMs are just great and honestly way cheaper, at least for
Really
like long
wireless has
durations.
eSIM. That's pretty good shit.
Yeah, I was
And
stoked. I
they're
think I paid like 20, maybe $40 or whatever it was, and like got, I don't know, 30 days with like basically 50 gig of data, like something beyond what I would need when I'm on a vacation or whatever.
Yeah, like
And,
somebody
like,
legitimately walked into
I had
a
a friend's phone number.
T-Mobile
It was cool.
store and cloned my goddamn SIM card.
That's wild.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I think the SIM card has still been like chopped down on the edges, like the corners to like fit into the new one. Like it's super old.
One of my friends was on a Bitcoin podcast, and as he was on the podcast, somebody SIM jacked him and took all of his crypto. I thought it was
Holy
great.
crap.
Yeah, they got into my bank, my fucking everything. It was stupid.
Crazy.
It took me a week to recover from everything.
No, I heard years ago, my dad knew a gal who had like a BMW and her phone was synced with her BMW, and somebody stole her car, but it was synced with their phone, so it had full access to her email, and then all of her other accounts were hacked, which is like the craziest. Like, talk about kicking you while you're down. It's like that's so...
Holy cow, that's stupid.
Yeah.
So this one is something people have probably not heard about, the Amazon outage. But a few days before that outage, they replaced 40% of their AWS DevOps workers with AI. It's not
I
really.
think
It's not why the
90% of
crash
code
happened.
was AI.
You know,
This has nothing to do with what just happened 2 days ago. It's fine.
it just happened to happen like 3 days before everything crashed.
Yeah.
They replaced their DevOps people who would have been the ones to fix this.
Yep.
With AI.
ChatGPT
Really,
do
really
it now,
nothing to do.
Amazon.
How hard is config management, bros?
Insert the obligatory DNS meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But my favorite in that regard is the TCP versus UDP, where it's just like a guy drinking water versus a guy just like pouring water on his face.
I like the TCP UDP meme where a guy is handing somebody the baby and the other one is just eating the baby and the guy's trying to catch the baby.
I tell you a joke about UDP.
Yeah, UDP. I don't think you'd get it. Yeah, that one's good. That one's super good.
So,
Freeman, were you going to jump in for a second there before we go?
No, I was just agreeing with the baby analogy there.
He's sitting in the background just drawing shit.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, we're at an hour and a half.
So yeah, I think we're pretty much good for today. And it was a DNS issue, by the way. At least what they blamed it on was a DNS issue.
Hold on.
And then rippling.
DNS, even if it's not, it's DNS.
It's easier to
Which
blame it
also
on
isn't
DNS
secure.
than
Here's
admit
something
that
I
you
have to
fired
do.
your DevOps team and AI decided to change your DNS server.
I'm
Completely
contractually
unrelated.
obligated to share a haiku. It is not DNS. There's no way it's DNS.
Yeah. I think everybody.
DNS is not 5 syllables.
If anybody that does not live under a rock, they know that meme.
I love that
haiku.
I love that haiku. Shut up.
At least finish the haiku, please.
It's almost as good as my other favorite meme, which is it's a picture of one of the Sailor Scouts talking to Tuxedo Mask, and he's like, "My work here's done," and she goes, "You haven't done anything," and he goes, and "It's just him walking away." I use that shit all the time.
My favorite one is that software bill of materials, right? Where you have huge pieces of software, but then there's this little guy over here not getting paid to maintain the thing.
Yeah,
and that thing might have a vulnerability and topples the whole castle down.
Yeah, which I think was originally created after the JavaScript left pad incident, where the guy just like pulled left pad, which literally is just left pad. It's like I have a string or a number, and I want to like put characters like left pad 4, comma space, and it just puts 4 spaces or to fill up that gap.
Yeah.
And
why does that need to be a package?
They had some stupid problem with the politics of something. I totally forget at this point. But yeah, and like it took down like a handful of the biggest repos. It's like, why are you using this? And nowadays, it's literally a built-in. But like, it's just insane.
I remember that.
That's
remember
why
that.
are you using these literally one-line libraries? It's just insane.
Why are you going to change it if it works, man? That costs money.
You know what? It's actually a topic for another episode because I had this conversation with a buddy earlier, which was, what do you trust more, commercial software or open source software? But hell, half of commercial software is built on those little bitty tools that were open source to begin with.
Well, they're not going to take the update necessarily tomorrow, and they hopefully have a staging environment that might, catch that beforehand. But
yeah, the argument is there's at least SDLC with commercial, but
yeah, I think the bigger issue is the dependencies of dependencies, which is why, like in the node land, I started using PNPM because it would lock down the full dependency tree, which I'm sure there's this similar things in other languages. But
until NPM got fucking popped last week.
Oh, NPM did? I don't even know.
Not NPM itself. It was just a worm that was propagating through NPM.
Through it, okay, yeah, which is similar to the left pad thing, I would assume. And whenever you're, again, you can run your own NPM repos, and similar for whatever. I mean, Golang didn't have versions in their dependencies until 2018. It's insane. Which is how can you write software and not even know what you're including, and then what that thing's including, and what that thing's including, and what that thing's including? It gets really tricky really quickly. And nobody can validate it all.
This also comes down to the conversation of like SAST scanning and DAST scanning, like weekly.
Yeah, right. And also like
Before a
maybe
commit.
you don't need all the updates all the time immediately. Maybe just like if you got like a good, I mean, that's like if you're writing software, I think it's really important. Like, can you run it self-contained? Does it only work on AWS? Because that's not fucking sustainable. Does it rely on Facebook or Google? That's not sustainable. Can
On
you
your
like,
other point,
run it on your own
right.
machine and then move it? Like that's because then you know all the edges and what it's dealing with. And I think that's like super important.
On your earlier
Sorry,
point
Freeman, go
about
ahead.
how could
You're gonna
you
have to
write
come back,
software?
man.
Oh yeah, absolutely yes. I mean, stay tuned for my next project. I was saying, on your earlier point where how could someone write software and then not know what you're including? I can imagine. I've done this when I was just starting out. When I was learning how to program. I just how to do this, and then I go online. Okay, copy this, paste it in. I still distinctly remember. There's one thing I pasted. It was like something like in Java, like static something. I just pasted it in, and it just whole thing didn't work for hours. And then finally, it was that, and I can definitely imagine somebody just copying it in hash include or import into their thing because they just don't know.
That's how it always happens.
Yeah.
I spent a year programming for college, back in college, and I failed out of those classes because they bored the shit out of me. But I will never forget public static void main string args. It'll just that shit is in my fucking head, man.
Yes, public. Yeah, it was a public static thing. Yeah.
Public static void main string args.
Can anybody here state all the layers of the OSI model without looking it up?
No.
1 through 7.
Physical,
session,
data link, network, something, maybe datagram,
transport.
There's transport layer.
Maybe that's second. Maybe
so
I'm
the last
okay.
episode we did was specifically the application layer, layer 7.
The application layer
last week.
Ever.
Your router's layer 3.
You got to know like
2 and 3 is the person, and that's all you really need to know because that's your weakest link.
And 7, 2, 3, and 7. That's what you need.
But before we split, if I may suggest one last news story, I posted it in the private chat there. That Times of Israel article about the Microsoft blocking the Unit 8200, which the following article or link is like the wiki on what that is, which is essentially their like cyber warfare division. To me, it's fascinating that like it even got that far to the point where they're massively sprawling out over entire cloud architectures.
Unit 82, not to be confused with Unit 42, which is
8200.
Their version of NSA.
Yes, exactly. Yes, correct. Which also is run by the guy who just got caught in a PETA.
Okay, there it is right there. It literally says it's their version of NSA.
Yeah. I can share it if you'd prefer.
I got it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Guys, I gotta go. It was so good hanging out with you guys.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having me. Yes, I was so happy to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. And thanks for the show. I'll talk to you soon.
You take care.
All right. Peace out, man.
Bye-bye.
The report says tech
Take care.
giant called Army, the Unit 8200 violated terms of service in storing phone recordings. Military officials say unit backed up data ahead of time. No info was lost. So this is Microsoft recently terminated the Israeli military's main signals intelligence unit, their access to some of its services after it allegedly used Azure cloud platform for expansive surveillance of Palestinians. According to the UK's The Guardian, Microsoft told Israeli officials last week that the IDF unit had violated the company's terms of service by storing vast troves of surveillance data on Azure. A report last month conducted by The Guardian and the far-left activist outlet Plus 972 magazine said Azure software was used by Unit 8200 to store countless recordings of mobile phone calls made by Palestinians living in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. In response to that report, Microsoft ordered an external review of its relationship with them. According to The Guardian, the findings have led them to cancel access to some of its cloud storage and AI services. The Guardian added the decision to cut some of its Azure services to Unit 8200 has not affected Microsoft's wider relationship with the IDF, and the Israeli military will retain access to other services.
It's just kind of interesting because if you go to the overview, line 11, it is literally copy-paste what the NSA does.
Damn it, I thought that was sharing the whole time I was reading it.
That's okay.
Damn it. Why didn't nobody say anything?
Oh, I wasn't sure if I could get an echo. Yes. But yeah, so we're like about halfway down this article, and I'll post the link in chat if it lets me. I'm not sure if it will. Let's see. No, it failed to post.
Oh, I was looking at the Wikipedia. This is different.
Oh yeah. Well, no. So this is because Microsoft just shut them down, like literally, like within the last. Like,
I see. Okay.
And so the article is about them getting shut down, and even Microsoft employees started to kind of revolt about this. So like, hey man, we like aren't cool with this. And it's like regardless of which side you're on, it's like maybe starving 2 million people is not a good thing. Like there's a bunch of problems with it. And yeah, and again, this is like from the source. Like this is obviously from them.
Times of Israel.
Yeah, like they're on the side of living there. So,
that would be for that side too if I lived there. Yeah, it is.
Fascinating that so look up Unit 8200. You can find out all sorts of stuff. It's actually pretty wild. But yeah, so they finally got shut down from from the Microsoft end, surprisingly.
All right. So I think I'm going to call it because we have gone over what we were said. And thank you all for tuning in.
Yes,
it's been fun.
Yep.
Well, folks, it's been another episode of Counter Surveil, where we own the surveillance game and keep your privacy from getting owned. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe to both Iron Geek and the Counter Surveil Archive YouTube channels and leave us a comment. We don't take sponsorship money and we cannot be bought. It's like sending us a care package, but without the risk of it being interdicted by the feds and backdoored. Don't get caught in the honeypot. Stay safe out there. Keep your scripts tight, never hack from your house. And always assume your comms are compromised and you're in an assumed breach environment. After all, in the world of surveillance, you're either a ghost in the machine or a target in the crosshairs. And remember, if you're not paranoid, you're not paying attention. Join us next time on Counter Surveil, where we'll be exploring more ways to stay one step ahead of the surveillance state. Or at least, we'll try. No promises, though. We're just a bunch of hackers trying to outsmart the bad guys. Wish us luck, and may the signal be strong. Because when it comes to surveillance, the only thing more powerful than a strong password is a strong alibi. Thanks again, and stay vigilant. Or, just use a VPN and hope for the best. Keep it encrypted, keep it secure, and keep on hacking. Responsibly, of course. And always remember, if you can't find the back door, you're probably the one being backdoored. Until next time, stay off the grid, keep your head down and your firewall up. And if all else fails, just pretend you're a bot. No one surveils bots, right? Just don't get caught.
Pretend to be a bot, for sure. Where's...
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.